Hello, mate. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about Star Wars Bad Batch Episode 3. I forgot the name of the episode. But episode 3. Let's get into it. Non-spoiler review. Let's go. Okay. Let's talk about Star Wars Bad Batch Episode 3. Non-spoiler review. It's not gonna be the spoiler. You're just gonna talk about it. For you guys, it just aired now, alright, on Friday. If you wanna know, Bad Batch always we're gonna be on Fridays. So be ready for that. But what I think about this one, it is it's not what I think it would be. I had higher expectation for this one, but I mean it's really in the oof right now. My expectation is like oof. How I feel about it, it really could have been something. I don't know. I feel like this has. I mean, I say lately, the Bad Batch is not a bad series, but lately the episode is like really not caring about the Bad Batch. I will say that. I'm not gonna say who it cares about, but I do like the two story. That's not. Hold on, I'll get into it more later. Okay, so it is two stories, not spoiler, because it happened in the last episode. But I do like how Bad Batch is telling really a two story. One, the whole Bad Batch crew. Two, how the Empire was become the Empire. Because we had some insight in it, but not too much. Now like we're getting I think Bad Batch is like we are telling the full story on how the Empire became the Empire and how things work out to be how it is now. And I really like that. And it is telling hold up. It is telling two stories with two different perspectives. I'll get into that more. Okay. So there's like two stories. This is not spoiler, but it's still talk about the Bad Batch. Obviously, the whole crew from it, but also telling the Empire side. Like we have Crosshair. It's not spoiler, but obviously it shouldn't be a spoiler if you watch the other one. If you watch the others, I'm assuming you have watched the other episode. But it's talking about Crosshair and his story with the Empire, and you go with the Bad Batch, and you go with their crew and their story and how they become. Well, it's talk about their story, but I'll go into it more later. Okay, so like this episode really tells two stories: the Empire and Bad Batch. With the last episode, they only it just gives some insight, but mostly talk about the Bad Batch and what they're doing. But with this one, it tells two different stories: Bad Batch, Crew, and the Empire. And I would say the Empire is way more interesting than the Bad Batch. Like I'm more interested on the Empire in this episode than the Bad Batch, and with the whole. With the episode being like 22 minutes, and it is like it's a short episode. It felt like a short episode. It was being, I want to continue this, it was it being two different sides of the story. Right? The Empire side and the Bad Batch and what they're doing. You really want to care about the Empire side. I mean, it's like 22 minutes. And it feels so short because it's telling two stories at the same time. And you want to get into more of one side because they put way more kill on one side of the story but not the other, and that's what I feel. And it felt like a really short episode. And when at the end I was like, come on, don't be the end. And then it be the end. I'm like, oh my. I like the episode, but it is not too. It is a bit. It is a bit worse, I would say. How they did it is like he cared about one story, not the other. And I would still care. I would still talk about it like this one still going to one character. He's talking about one. With this one, I didn't really talk. He talked about one whole group actually. With the Empire, the whole Empire, instead of one character, but it's, you know, focused on one character. But with the other side, you only care about another, like with the Bad Batch queue, you only care about two characters. Really two characters. Like the other characters are side characters, even though we talk about the whole group. It's a side character. You know, that's really, I'm like, come on, man, why you always gotta be side characters? They're like, you know, they just talk about it a little bit, they have their uses. But it's usually about two characters and that's it. And I'm like, oh man. And it was a short episode, so like most of the other characters didn't have anything much to say. You know, it was like, wow. I thought it was gonna be much. There is action, but like really slow action. It's not slow action, but it's like a little bit of action. There's like action at the end, and that when the action does happen, it's quick. What are you doing? I cannot do that. Can I report you? I can't. See, you don't want to do that, mate. You could get reported. You're gonna get reported. Why would you do that? You're gonna get reported. Sorry, I'm sorry. So I would say this episode is a bit worse than the other episode. This is my opinion, number one. Number two, my opinion will stand. I think it's just a little bit of a worse episode, but it's not too bad though. It's not a bad episode. It's just an episode that what are you doing? No! It's just an episode that I think could have been way much better, but not. And I really am sad about that. It could have been a way much better episode, but it's just not. Oh yes. Yes, okay. I wanna focus on. No! Wow! The tone is so quick, like, not the tone, but the pacing is quick. And the tone is like two different sides. It's like, oh, a happy side mission from one side, and the other side is moving the plot forward. And that's the Empire side. The Empire is moving the plot forward, and while the Bad side is only a side mission. We don't care what they're doing. Our only the motive is like, what is it? You know, it's like, what are you doing? You know, we don't know what they're we don't know what they really want to accomplish, and what we know about the Empire. We know what they want to accomplish, and we are more invested in the Empire than the Bad Batch crew. That's what I think. And if you think about if this could have been only Empire, then this would have been bigger, way higher, way better episode. But since it focused on two and not came about one, and came about the other one, and also the pacing is so off. It's like with one side, this happened, that happened, and done. The other side is more. The pacing is much better, but with mixing with the other side, it kind of quick though. If they need to really focus on one side. I'm cool with the did with the second one, but if you want to tell two stories at the same time, man, you have to make it a bit longer. Okay, make the episode a bit longer. Squish it up to 22 minutes. Have no time for each side of the story. Well, I made this it for this video. That's what I think about Bad Batch, episode 3, non-spoiler. It's a little bit. It's a bit of a worse. It's not a bad episode. It's not a worst episode, but it's not as to the other episode. I Alright, mates. I'll see you guys in the next time. Like, subscribe if you like this video, and make sure you keep up with the Bad Batch and watch my new review. I'll see you guys in the next time. Bye.